Visit worldrolodex.com/obsession method to learn more. Email swipe number 1 body language to turn her on. Suggested subject lines: turn her on without saying a word. Instructional video: turn her on without saying a word. 3 techniques for making her want you for hundreds of thousands of years. Men had to seduce women without saying a single word. Before spoken language even existed, the only tool men had to turn a woman on and convince her to sleep with them was what he could communicate with his body language. Learn the body language to turn women on here, you see, because seduction and attraction was all done without words for most of our evolutionary history. The sexual part of a woman's brain is much more responsive to the signals your body is giving off than it is to anything you say. That's why it's absolutely essential that you know how to turn a woman on regardless of what you say. In it, my friend Kate shares 3 tips for using the secret language of your body to get the girls you really want to start fantasizing about you. Including, a technique to make her crave your touch, a technique for getting her to think about kissing you, and a way to make her dream about you all day long. It's powerful. It's practical. And best of all, you can use these techniques right away. And be ready to take notes. Email swipe number 2 what makes a guy hot. Suggested subject lines: what women really mean when they say a guy's hot. 3 practical techniques for hot guy body language. How to carry yourself like a man in demand. Here's something most guys have never considered: when you say a girl's hot, you're probably talking about the shape of her face and body, her stunning eyes, her soft skin and full lips, the curve of her back and her hips, the swell of her chest. These shapes and curves and contours combine to make you feel turned on and drawn to her. But when women say a guy is hot, they're not talking about the shape of his body or face. More often than not, they're talking about how he carries himself. Here's how to carry yourself like a sexual rock star. In a recent study, women looked at pictures of men and rated their attractiveness on a scale of 1 to 10. But the researchers did something sneaky. Among the hundreds of pictures the women flipped through, they'd slip in multiple pictures of the same men, standing and sitting in different positions, and with slightly different facial expressions. Shockingly, women would rate the same man differently depending on how he held himself. One way of standing would get him ratings of 5 or 6. And a seemingly minor adjustment would give the same guy ratings of 9 or 10. That's because women are highly tuned into the signals a man's body language is giving off. They may not know what it is about him. They get an overall impression of a guy's attractiveness and think of him as either hot or not based on the signals he's giving off. Discover 3 practical techniques for hot guy body language. Here, you'll be amazed at how differently women see you and how they treat you when you know how to give off the right signals. Email swipe number 3 Pavlov's dog. Suggested subject lines: how to use Pavlov's theory to make a girl hungry for your touch. She won't be able to stop thinking about your touch. She'll beg you to touch her, make her crave your touch. You might have heard of Dr. Pavlov's famous experiment, where he'd ring a bell every time he fed his dogs. And after a few repetitions, just hearing the bell would make the dogs salivate uncontrollably. The sound of the bell became powerfully linked in the dogs' brains to the feeling of hunger, and they couldn't help drooling. It's a process called classical conditioning, and you can use it to get any woman hungry for your touch. This instructional video shows you how, when you casually touch a woman in a certain way every time she has positive feelings, she starts to associate your touch with those good feelings. And very quickly, she's thinking about your touch all the time. She's imagining how good it'll make her feel. And when you're not around, she experiences an intense craving to feel your hands on her. Using Pavlov's theory is one of 3 cool techniques my friend Kate shares in this instructional video. It shows you not only how to make her crave your touch, but also a technique for making her think about kissing you, and a way to unlock feelings of uncontrollable lust for you. It's deadly effective. Contains techniques you can use right away, and is based on scientific research out of Harvard. Check out the practical advice in Kate's video now. All the best. Email swipe number 4 erotic PG-13 suggested subject lines: uncontrollable lust for you, even if she hates you. Can a woman want to bang you, even if she hates you? Why she'll want bang you even if she can't stand you, she hates you, but you still make her wet, make her horny, even if she hates you. By far, the biggest mistake men make when they want to make a woman wet is thinking that lusting for you somehow comes from liking you. But nothing could be further from the truth. You see, whether or not a girl likes you and approves of you has nothing to do with whether or not she wants to wrap her legs around you and draw you deep inside her. In fact, women are more likely to fantasize about getting bent over and ravaged by a guy they don't particularly like in the traditional sense. Discover how to make her fantasize about getting pounded by you here. That's because lust and liking exist in different areas of her brain. Liking is generated in the rational, logical part of the brain. And lust is activated in the deeper, more primal, animal part of the brain. The good news is that a woman's primal, animal brain is much more powerful than her logical, reasonable one. And guys who know how to activate it have an insane amount of choice with women. Here's how to activate the lust part of her brain. When you think about it, we men aren't that different. I'm sure there's been a girl you didn't particularly like or connect with, but you wouldn't hesitate to slide into bed with her and tear her panties off. The main difference between men's and women's brains is where a man's primal lust is triggered by a woman's physical appearance. A woman's primal lust is triggered by the signals his body language gives off. That's why carrying yourself a certain way will make a woman squirm in her seat. It'll make her want to reach down and start touching herself. And she'll be picturing your face as she crests over. Learn how it's done in this short, instructional video. https://hop.clickbank.net/?affiliate equals xxxxx and vendor equals Kate Spring and tit equals ye thank me later. Get a girlfriend suggested subject lines. The best strategy for making her your girlfriend. Guys who get the girls they want know this. Want her to be your girlfriend? Don't make this mistake. If you want her to be your girlfriend, it's tempting to want to show off all your best qualities, in the hope that she'll suddenly realize what a great boyfriend you'd make, and rush into your arms. But, as you've probably seen, this almost never works. Women don't choose the guy who makes the most sense to be with. They choose the guy who makes them feel certain powerful emotions. Specifically, they choose guys who make them feel the powerful and addictive emotion of attraction. Discover 3 simple techniques for making her feel overwhelming attraction here, even if you're not interested in a one-night stand or a casual fling, but want to make a girl your loyal, loving girlfriend. You're still much better off focusing on getting her turned on and attracted first, rather than trying to appeal to her logical, rational mind. Guys who get the girls they want have learned this lesson. And they've learned that the most powerful way to give her these obsessive, addictive emotions is through your body language. My friend Kate just released an instructional video where she gives you 3 practical, easy-to-use body language techniques, which get a girl to think about kissing you, get her craving your touch, and give you direct access to the animal part of her brain. Go here to watch it while it's still up. Go give it a watch. Email swipe number 6. The science angle suggested subject lines. Studies show women love blank. Harvard study shows women need this. What scientists say all women need in a guy. Can science help you make women sexually attracted to you? The answer is yes. In fact, studies pouring out of universities are talking about a secret language that will force a woman to stare you, chase you, and fantasize about the day she gets to wrap her long, voluptuous legs around you. Sound like something you'd be into? Then watch this how-to video right now. In it, top seduction guru Kate Spring unveils the top 3 secret language tips that you can use right now to make hot women obsess over you. These psychological cues are so powerful and covert that she will have no idea that you are using them on her, and she will be absolutely powerless to resist. How would you like to have that kind of total control over a woman? Watch this instructional video right now. It doesn't matter what you look like or how wealthy you are, if you're short, fat, bald, stupid. Because these 3 tips are so powerful that they bypass that logical part of her brain, and compel her to think sexual thoughts about you. I know this might sound too good to be true, but I promise you this has worked for the thousands of men I've shown this to. Visit worldrolodex.com/obsession method to learn more.